Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, you're welcome also. My name is Doshima and I make videos about beauty, lifestyle, and most recently my pregnancy journey. If you're interested in such content, you're welcome. Please do consider subscribing and joining the family. Every woman, I believe, is delicate around that period and should be treated with utmost care. I know that everybody's pregnancy is different, each pregnancy peculiar to each person, and everybody is special. Every baby is special. But when a woman is pregnant with multiples, with more than one baby, there is special care that is automatically um, taken to take care of her during her pregnancy, and this is because such pregnancies are considered high risk, and so it is better to detect multiple pregnancies, or if if a person is pregnant with multiples, it's better to detect it early on in the pregnancy. In my own case, I didn't know until very far down the journey, but I definitely had some signs that could have shown me that, or that could have made me um you know think that suspect that I was pregnant with twins, and I'm going to be sharing with you those 5 of those signs in this video. So if you're interested, please stick around. The number one sign that you may be pregnant with twins is early uterine cramping that persists into the second trimester. So I remember that in my case, as early as 7, 8, 9 weeks, it happened for the longest time into my second trimester. So it became a normal thing, such that I can't even remember when it actually stopped. But I remember that I did a lot of research when it was happening, and I would I would see results that suggested that it could be a miscarriage happening, and I would get so scared. But later, eventually, I read one that said it could be that I was pregnant with twins, which I dismissed also because the ultrasound scan I had in my 14th week said I was pregnant with just one baby. And this cramping is usually mild and not persistent per se. And I noticed that it happened mostly when I was on the move, or when I was doing some kind of strenuous activity, or just when I was busy or under some kind of stress. And I'm not saying that any kind of cramping you have during pregnancy signifies that you are having or you're pregnant with twins. It's definitely cause for concern. It's something to mention to your doctor or your healthcare provider, or during antenatal care. It's something worth mentioning if you're having that. But if you have mild cramping that comes and goes, that persists from your first trimester into your second trimester, I think it's also reason for you to suspect that you are pregnant with more than just one baby, because that means that the womb is contracting, and it's trying to it's growing. Your womb is growing to accommodate your babies, your more than one baby, and that's usually the reason for this cramping. The second sign that you may be pregnant with twins is breast tenderness or soreness. I remember that I watched a video that said this when I was pregnant, but still it didn't make me think, or it didn't automatically tell me that I was pregnant with twins. I also mentioned in a previous video that this was an early sign and very serious sign of pregnancy for me, or in my early on in my pregnancy, because it started as early as the first 5 weeks, in my 5th week or so, and it persisted for a long time. I earlier mentioned that I couldn't even wear my old bras, for a long time, and I had to dump them to get pregnancy bras that were more comfortable, because my breasts were sore and they grew quite fast. And as early as my first trimester, I was already experiencing that, and that was how it continued quite frankly, for almost the rest of my pregnancy. So if you're having such breast soreness early, very early in your pregnancy, it's definitely cause for you to suspect that you're pregnant with more than just one baby. So this next one is actually quite funny. I laugh at myself when I remember it. It is having baby or feeling baby or fetal movements in more than one part of your stomach, or one part of your belly, one part of your bum. I remember that towards the end of my pregnancy, when the movements were more defined, like towards the end of my second trimester and early third trimester, I would feel movements in two sides of my belly. I would usually feel movements in this part, just around here, and also in this side of my belly. I just naturally assumed that it was hands and feet. Maybe the one baby I was carrying, the hands were moving in one side and the feet were moving in another side. So I didn't quite understand that there were actually two babies. But if you are carrying more than one baby, you're likely to feel movements in two different parts of your belly at the same time. That means that two different babies can be moving at the same time. So which is why you would have movements in two different parts of your belly at the same time. The fourth sign that you may be pregnant with more than one baby is the size and shape of your bum. So this is quite controversial because my bump wasn't that big. When I eventually had my babies, people who saw me when I was pregnant and found out I was having twins later always went, with that small belly, but your stomach was not big. And I get that because my babies were born both, one was born at 1.9 kg, weighing 1.9 kg, and the other was born weighing 2.3 kg. If you put that together, that's about 4.2 kg, which is not very far from what the average size of a single baby. So some twin pregnancies are different, such that the babies are bigger, are born bigger, so the bump may be really big. Mine, the reason I said size and shape is because my bump was definitely not so big in size, but it was bigger than most women. Also, that's a bad habit to compare the size or shape of your bum with any other pregnant woman's. But at the same time, I can say that I looked at other people's bum, especially during antenatal care, and most of them, given how far into the pregnancy we were gone, didn't look as big as I did. My bum was protruded, so it wasn't rounded like I saw most women's bum. It was rather protruded, and so I don't know how else to expect to describe it, but I'm going to put a picture up here that is going to show me at 30 weeks, and this was just 30 weeks. Remember that I had my babies at 37 weeks, so there was still 7 more weeks of growth, but this right here is how I looked at 30 weeks. The last sign that you may be pregnant with more than just one baby is persistent nausea. Also, this is another controversial one because most pregnant women, there's a study that shows that pregnant women, 70 to 80% of pregnant women experience some form of nausea. But there is also a condition called hyperemesis gravidarum that 2% of this number experience, which is a severe form of nausea. So it is you cannot quite say that because you are feeling nauseous for most of your pregnancy, for all of your pregnancy, that you're pregnant with twins. But I can say that this was my experience. Like I shared in my previous videos, my pregnancy signs or symptoms. I had nausea. I was nauseous for all of my pregnancy, and like I shared also in my delivery video or my birth story, this was a sign of an early sign of labor for me. When I was going into labor, this was what also happened. So you can say that when you have persistent nausea, it can make you, or it should make you suspect how many babies you are actually carrying. Ultimately, an ultrasound scan is the only thing that can assure you how many babies you are really carrying. In my case, I guess I just trusted the hospital I was receiving antenatal care from, and even when they said it was just one baby, I didn't bother to go check elsewhere. But like I said earlier, if you are having all of the symptoms that I've mentioned in this video, I think it is cause for you to seek a second opinion or even a third opinion, because you don't want to be taken unawares. You don't want to go and find out in the delivery room that you're having twins or more than one baby when you were actually preparing your mind and your body and your budget for just one baby. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap up on that here. I do hope that you found this video helpful. Like, if you like this kind of content, it will let me know that you do, and I'll be sure to make more of them. Ultimately, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video or if you've watched up to this point. All of that good stuff. Leave me a comment. I'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you guys in my next video.